was less bad. What about the total amount of money that we have to pay for all these bureaucrats? Well, the NDP increased the total wage burden of government by 87%. But the Liberals, that increased by 64%. Yeah, that was less bad. What about the average salary paid to bureaucrats? Well, the average government sector wage under the NDP went up by 58%. But it went up by 51% under the Liberals. That was less bad. Okay, now I'm going to take a brief break from my litany of less bad for some good news. The average wage for the average Joe, so the person not working in government, actually fell by 2% during the 1990s. So Joe average was making 2% less in 2000 than he was in 1990 under the NDP. But that went up by 27% under the Liberals. So that definitely was good news. Okay, good news break is over. Back to the litany. Spending. Government spending under the NDP went up by 80%. And under the Liberals by 48%. Yeah, that was less bad. Now it's true, we had 8 years of deficit spending under the NDP. 8 years of consecutive deficit spending. 8 consecutive years of deficit spending. But between 2001 and 2011, we had 6 years of deficit spending. If deficits carry on to 2013 as the government says they will, then that's going to be 4 consecutive years of deficit spending. Less bad for now. Now the debt picture is actually interesting because I think we can really learn something from it. It's true, the debt went up under the NDP by 100%. Under the Liberals, debt actually fell at first. See, it's possible. You can actually make, as government, a real reduction in the total amount of debt. And I'm not talking this bogus decrease in the increase thing that only economists understand. I'm talking a real absolute reduction in the level of debt. But again, it didn't last. If we look at where the debt fell to in 2006, and compare that to where the Liberal government itself expects it to go by 2013, it will have gone up by 82%. Less bad. But we're getting pretty close to NDP territory. So, have things changed under the new BC Liberal leadership? No. In fact, it's getting worse. The funny thing is that Christy Clark is always going on about how she's running away as fast as she can from the Gordon Campbell legacy. And you know what? She is. She's running as fast away as she can from the legacy of Gordon Campbell's first term. You remember that one where they were always going on about fiscal responsibilities, spending restraints, surplus budgets, debt reduction? Yeah, it's running fast away from that. What she is doing, though, is accelerating the trends of the second term. All this big spending, big government stuff with the Liberals started in about 2004, 2005, when they caught that second term spending disease. That's a disease that a lot of governments catch when they decide that they're going to buy their way to election victory.
Yeah, that's true.
What then happened was Gordon Campbell started to take over some of the really big NDP traditional issues. The very first one, of course, was Aboriginal issues with the new relationship. Effectively, when Gordon Campbell came up with his new relationship policy, he took the Aboriginal issues away from the NDP so they couldn't use it as a wedge issue. When Gordon Campbell jumped onto the global warming bandwagon around 2006, he then very effectively took away the environment as a wedge issue during election time. So the NDP couldn't use the environment anymore. In fact, they actually were in quite a tizzy when they came out against the carbon tax. People just didn't really know what to think of that. So what big issue was left? Can you say minimum wage? You know, the really weird thing about this is that back in 1996, another Clark, the NDP Premier Glenn Clark, promised to raise the minimum wage every 6 months. Gordon Campbell at the time said it would kill job growth and force employers to lay off workers. At the time, other people were saying the NDP just does not understand the real world. So that other clerk, Glenn, well, he backed down. This clerk, though, Christie, has not. How is it that these ideas are dangerous when the NDP suggests them, but not so when NDP like that?